Welcome to the Wildcast Podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Oh, welcome into Wildcast Studios for the Season 6 finale and the post-draft episode of your Wildcast Podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats, again, presented by Alpha's Appliance Solutions, your biggest Maytag dealer east of Montreal. Right now, buy 2 appliances Maytag or Whirlpool, save $200, buy 3 of Maytag or Whirlpool, save $300 from now until June 21st. As always, fan listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. Mock Draft, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. Have you recovered from Sherbrooke?
No.
You asking about the sleeping? Absolutely not. Those were 3 very early mornings. And
Ungodly early for one of us.
I'm usually...
Did you press record?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Want me to check if I did?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back after these messages from Binford.
All right, there we go. That's the best part about this show is... All right, have you recovered from Sherbrooke?
This sleep is still... No. Those, like I said, those are 3 very early mornings.
Yeah.
And I'm usually a morning person. I can handle stuff like that. The 3 a.m. wake up call on Friday morning, even though we didn't technically leave until 5:30, and I could have slept an extra 2 hours. That was just me getting excited, the build up. And the 10-hour drive in a car.
Through America.
All aboard the Trump train. There's some good flags.
Yeah.
Very patriotic country. Let's put it that way. Fun car rides. 3 a.m. on Friday, 6:30 a.m. Saturday, 6:30 a.m. Sunday.
Yeah.
And
home by 8 p.m. Sunday.
Yeah, very long days, but very, very fun. It was a lot of fun. Great experience. Hope to do it again next year.
Just a wee bit closer.
Yes.
I
agree.
I was really thinking I wasn't going to fall asleep as much as I did the first time we went to Quebec. That didn't happen. I mean, I didn't sleep as much on the way there because of the border stop. But on the way back, out. I have the ability to sleep anywhere, anytime, and like you said, out. Like, he tried to get my attention once on the way down there. Layla tried to get my attention at Dunkin' Donuts, and I just kept swatting her arm because I thought she was just trying to wake me up or bugging me. It was early days. I'm not a morning person, so I took advantage of those extra 2 hours of sleep. I mean, Friday night when we actually finished the roundtable live and kind of went to bed, zonked right out, slept the whole night. Woke up earlier than my alarm on that day because I was ready and I was excited. Ton of fun. Hopefully it's somewhere a little bit closer next year because that is a far way to go. Please don't put it in Ren-to-Ren or Val-d'Or.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave on the Thursday if that's the case.
Yeah, we do love this team, but that is a far drive. And again, thanks to the Q and the Wildcats for working with us, and we'll get into that a little bit later. As always, don't forget, you can follow us on our social medias. Might be a little less on our social medias in this upcoming 2 months, but Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, which is one of those apps I just don't understand. We talked about it last week. I was kind of maybe a little bit scared to put a TikTok up after getting 1.3 million. It's now 1.4 million. I put a few up, and I had like of our drive. So you're coming out of prison. The video that you're walking out of your house with your bag and your pillow like a prison. That got like 300 views. Our Team America got like 500. Our Baby Rexa on draft day, like 400. And then the Caleb Denoye song that you heard to start the show, 59,000 views.
Crazy.
No idea how it goes. I don't know. Maybe it's because we were at an event like that, so it kind of got traction there. Or maybe it was the song. I don't know. But, we'll see how many more TikToks we put on in the summer. But you can subscribe there on Wildcast Podcast. And then, again, like and subscribe here on the YouTube. 1.6 thousand views on our draft coverage, even with volume. So, quick question. It's an easy question. What are your summer plans, bro?
It's going to be a very busy summer. It's going to be a summer like no other for me. We've got the wife and I have plans to put our place on the market.
What?
And finally get out of the out of the prison, and so that's once it's listed, and we start getting some.
But living in the Greater Moncton area, you're not leaving me, right?
Oh no,
this will not be a summer transition because I'm not doing this by myself.
The goal is to go back to my roots, back to Irishtown.
Ah, that's closer to me, anyways.
And it is closer to you actually. Yeah, just a quick rip down the old Elmwood Drive, Irishtown Road, and we're there. And no, it's gonna be that's gonna be a pretty exciting time if if we can. We're gonna get some painting done at the end of the month. We're gonna paint our entire place and make it look brand new and throw it up on the market. See if we get any hits, and from there, we've got at the end of this month. It's my brother-in-law Ben. He's graduating from firefighting school.
That's cool.
So we're gonna be down in Halifax for that, and so that's on the 29th of June. And the 1st of July it just happens to be our Megan and I's wedding anniversary. So instead of, unfortunately, I'll be missing the anniversary party that the city of Moncton's putting on for Megan and I downtown. We're going to be missing the Sloan concert.
Sloan's coming?
Yeah, for Canada Day.
Have they advertised that? And I missed it?
Yeah, I think you probably missed it. Yeah, that's the downtown on Main Street, Canada Day, Sloan free concert.
Cool.
But no, we're going to be in Halifax for Canada Day. I believe the Snowbirds are going to be there, but they're also going to be in Moncton this upcoming weekend, which is going to be awesome, down by the river, which is always a good time. Snowbirds put on an incredible show.
In a van down by the river.
So that's the the long weekend. Those are the long weekend plans. 2 weeks later, we will be departing for Ontario.
Yeah.
Leaving for Ontario on the 14th. We'll be returning back on the 30th. And from there, we're 2 weeks away from training camp.
Yeah.
So
I should have led this summer plans off first because mine are not that involved.
Yeah.
Are you going to Boots and Hearts?
Will not be going to Boots and Hearts.
Is it close to where Megan's family is?
Yeah, honestly, we're her sister and my brother-in-law Andy. They bought a new place. They just moved in a couple of weeks ago, and it's literally, I think, a 10-minute drive from Ormadonte.
And you're just not there at the time?
Not there at the time.
Early
if I was,
absolutely.
If I was there during Boots and Hearts, I would be locked in for Nickelback.
Well, yeah, I would hope so.
But no, unfortunately, I won't be there for that particular weekend.
It's probably a good thing because you would have been there all weekend instead of spending time with Megan's family. Yeah, no, we're going to Ontario for a week. Catch my first ever Jays game. I've been to Rogers Center, Skydome, whatever you want to call it. I was in there for Metallica way back in the day in the hotel. And then just a crap ton of golf. Got a membership at Hillsborough. So Tony Smith, I challenge you
I'd love to
18
see that. I would love to watch that.
in August when we both had some time to practice. I challenge you. We'll do something for charity maybe. That'll be fun. You're a golfer, right?
I can golf.
We should do a 2-on-2. You and me versus Scotty and Tony.
I think the longest, most successful putt I've made in the past 3 years was on that practice green at the Golf Town in Bangor.
Crushed that,
on Friday. I made
almost bought that $138 putter.
I made a 6-foot putt. I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I got a membership at Hillsborough. So I'm just doing that, riding my tractor, my lawnmower.
It Golf Town? It was a Dick's.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
I thought it was. I said Golf Town. I meant Dick's.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah. Same. Yeah. Kind of same thing. So yeah, not a whole lot going on here.
Dick's Sporting Goods, of course, located right next to BJ's.
BJ's. Yep.
Yep. BJ's gas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, man, Bangor was fun. If you have a chance to go to Bangor, Maine, I don't care what you're doing. If you're going through it, stop at Walmart. The people of Walmart do not disappoint. And it literally was just in the cross section of us waiting for people to cross to get to their cars for us to park. I know you were...
People of Walmart is real.
Yeah. I know you were upset at the no guns there.
Whoa.
No, like to see the gun selection and
yes,
to actually see it in Walmart. Not to buy, just to see the wall, like
I was
to walk in
excited.
Walmart. Yeah,
I was looking forward to seeing
yeah,
if there were guns available for purchase.
yeah.
I wasn't going to buy a gun.
Thank God.
There were no guns.
No.
Thank
No, which,
God.
like I said, like I mentioned, 25 minutes after we walked the whole Walmart looking for the section, I was like, I don't think this is an open carry state, which means I don't think you can buy guns anywhere. Which, I mean, you found the sign for guns in America. Buffalo Wild Wings was a treat.
Yeah.
Target was meh. And where else did we go? Is that it? Oh yeah, Dick's.
Yeah, Dick's, yeah.
Yeah, I was really hoping Dick's Sporting Goods had like actual like a Blue Jays hat for you. Something.
A lot of Boston. Like
Yeah.
very like heavy on the
Very
Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Very Boston.
Yeah.
A lot of Maine Black Bears stuff.
Yeah.
Which was
And then a ton of sporting goods.
yeah.
Like a lot of fishing. You're a big fisher guy, go to Dick's.
Mm-hmm.
Big golf guy, go to Dick's.
Need some gas, go get some BJ's.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see it in our TikTok when we were halfway there. So yeah, just a good time in Bangor, Maine. I've never been to a concert there. I know Nickelback's coming on August 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, it is a Thursday, so we'll see if we make a weekend out of it. That's the negative.
That's also the evening of the big Morgan Wallen concert in Dieppe.
Oh,
So that if there is a time to get away from Moncton,
that is true.
It is.
Oh, and the other summer plan, we are going to the Guns N' Roses opens for Carrie Underwood in reverse order.
Yeah, that's right.
We are going to that. How long we stay for Guns N' Roses? I don't know, but we are going to that. We are going to that show. So it is the season 6 finale. This is show 50. That is crazy that we've done 50 shows in the 39 weeks or whatever. I mean, we had a couple double ones at Christmas, but thanks for being here for 50 shows.
Well, look, man.
49 because you were in 48 because you were in on the road for 2.
That's right. If you continue to pay me under the table for this work, I'll be back here in the seat next year.
I'm in. But done. Yeah, so we usually try to get a big guest, and I think we should get to probably one of the bigger guests we've ever had.
View from the other bench.
Well, again, this is a special episode for us. We always try to have big guests on our premieres and our finales. And, dude, I can't think of a bigger, better guest than the biggest Wildcat superfan we know, Mr. DeBrent Bourne. How are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing really good. And how are you guys?
We are doing absolutely good. We're enjoying the summer weather. Did you enjoy the draft?
Yes, I did.
You did? Did you watch our coverage, or did you just watch it online?
I watched your coverage on TV.
That's why you're the best person ever, buddy.
It's a good man right there.
Yeah.
So my first question for you:
How was your experience at the draft?
how was our experience at the draft? It was pretty awesome to be on the floor. Actually, to be actual media, it was pretty cool. Jeremy?
I got to be on the draft floor in 2016 in Charlottetown.
Yeah. Did you like it? Did you get to be on stage?
Yeah.
What?
And I got to make the first pick
Holy smokes.
for the 4th round pick of round 1. No. Or
The 4th round pick?
yeah.
Man.
And it was Jake Hudson.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. My first question for you, bud. Who is your favorite player on the team right now?
Well, that's a good question because there's a lot of them.
Well, which
But
one?
my
Which one would you pick?
favorite Would be Chris Morehouse or Nick Riopel.
Oh, those are your favorite ones.
Yeah.
That's your favorite of all. Those are your favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes Chris Morehouse and Nick Riopel your favorite Wildcats of all time, Brent?
Because they did some renovations for me in my house.
Ah, you put them to work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, what are your expectations of the of next year's team? Where do you think the team's going to finish?
I think we're gonna be a young team, but I think we're gonna have lots of talent and lots of development to work on.
Do you think we're going to be better than Halifax
Yeah,
and Cape Breton
yeah,
and St. John?
yeah.
That's why you're the best, buddy. Woo! Can we get one of those? So when you go to games and you get there early with your iced coffee and you're fired up, what is your favorite part about being in the rink on game day?
I have a ritual that I do with Jacob Steinman and Anthony Hamel. We have peanut butter and jam sandwiches.
Who makes the peanut butter and jam sandwiches?
Graham.
Oh, Graham makes them. So you don't make the hockey players make them for you?
No.
Now, if you were to rate Graham's peanut butter and jam sandwiches out of 10, how would you rate it?
Probably 10.
Nice.
So
Chef.
they're better than your mom's?
Yeah? I hope she doesn't hear me, though.
You know what, buddy? Your secret's safe with us. We won't tell her, okay?
Okay.
So what do you got planned for this summer?
I go watch the Moncton Fisher Cats
Oh, yeah.
play baseball.
How are they doing so far, Brent?
They're doing not too bad. Like, we have our ups and downs, but I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, kind of like Moncton this year?
Yeah,
So are you a bigger Wildcats fan or a bigger Fisher Cat fan?
both.
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 What if both teams had a game on the same night? Who would you go watch?
That's a tough question.
Well, it's a good thing it's a good thing that the schedules don't compete with each other.
Yeah,
Hopefully they're on different times. You can go watch some of one and some of the other.
but my new favorite player for this year
Yeah.
is going to be Caleb Denoyer.
That's a smart pick.
That's a very good pick. Yeah, we're gonna have some stuff to say about him. Probably on this episode.
Yeah,
What number do you think he's going to wear? Do you think he's going to wear the same number as his brother, or do you think he's going to pick a different one?
what number does he have right now?
He doesn't have a number. That's why everyone's wondering which number he's going to pick. Do you think it'll be the same as Elliot or a different?
Same as Elliot, maybe.
You think he'll wear number 9? That's a good plan. I like that, buddy. This was a lot of fun, Brent. I really enjoyed this. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. What was it like being at the draft, and how much fun was it?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time. The drive there, not so much. The 10 hours in the car. Hopefully next year's draft is a little closer than Sherbrooke, but
Did you get some Mr. Puffs?
we got some Mr. Puffs. Absolutely, that was probably the highlight of the draft, and we shared some with Jamie Tozer and Pat McNeil, and that was it was a very good experience. Have you had Mr. Puffs before, Brent?
No.
No.
The
Oh.
only negative.
I just hear it from you guys, man. You guys told me about Mr. Puffs, or someone did.
Yeah. The only negative is we didn't get to bring Mr. Puffs back because they would have all melted. But it was a lot of fun. The drive there through.
Going to be a young team this year, Adam and Jeremy.
Do you think we're going to be a young team?
Yeah.
I think we're going to be a little bit more of a veteran squad. I think they added 2 veteran players in Collard and Bhutan. So I think that'll just help us the next level of development, like you said. And I think we're going to take a pretty good run at trying to win a championship.
Yeah. Do you think we will win the championship in 2024, 2025?
We're 2024, 2025. I think we've got a pretty good chance. Yeah. There's some teams that will that are going to look pretty good that same year. So yeah, we are in tough, but I think
a lot of players that I look up to are Alexi Daniel too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Anthony Hamel.
Yeah, Anthony Hamel. Yeah, he was at the draft actually. We didn't get to talk to him, but he was.
He was?
He was at the draft for the Wildcats. Yeah, he was helping out the young guys get to where they needed to get to
How
after
did I
their
not
pick.
see that?
What's that?
How did I not see that?
He might not have been on camera. I don't think he was on the stage when they made their picks. He was kind of in the background, helping all the young guys get to their media availabilities and making sure they had to be where where they get to be. If the draft is in Cape Breton next year, are you going to drive up? You going to make your mom drive up?
I'd like to, but it's too far to go.
No, you tell your mom it's not too far to go.
We'll hope maybe it'll be at the Avenir Center.
Is that what I'm hearing? That it will be at the Avenir Center?
Well, I don't want to be the one to start rumors here,
Yeah.
but when we spoke with Richie at the draft, he mentioned something about we commented about how it was so very, very warm inside the rink at the draft over the weekend, and Richie said that next year's draft will have air conditioning. So I
How
don't.
long a drive was it?
It was
9 hours.
yeah, 9 hours, 10 hours.
Oh, boys.
Yeah. It would have been a little bit longer if we'd have gone through Quebec, but we went through the U.S. of A., so it was a little bit shorter.
Me, how are you?
I have a picture of Adam sleeping in the car that I can send to you, Brent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
How are you, buddy?
What's that?
Mr. Mongraff Jeremy, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I was passed right out as soon as we left in the morning, and I was passed right out as soon as we left when we came back. So, well, Mr. DeBorn, before we get out of here, we need you to intro our podcast for us. So this is your moment to intro the podcast. So you go ahead.
Oh, welcome to the Wildcat Podcast with your host, Adam Lund and Mr. Jeremy Boucher.
That is beauty, buddy. That is that we're gonna use that next year. All right.
Okay.
All right, Brent. You have an excellent night. You have a great summer, and we're gonna see you in August for training camp. Thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
Thanks, Brent.
Bye.
What a good interview. Like Brent is the.
What took it 6 seasons to have Brent on the show?
I don't know. We tried at certain points, but you know us. Technology.
He's such a busy man.
He is a big deal. He's usually got honeys and he's working out. Yeah, no, it was very cool to have him on. I just like seeing him around the rink. I'm so glad that we're back to actual fans and stuff and seeing him around the rink. And I think we'll probably use that intro a few times on the show.
I don't see why not. I think it's Mike, you have been overtaken.
At least on the intro. But yeah, I was kind of shocked. He did not name Jacob Hudson as one of his favorite players of all time.
Also shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob Hudson is
He had his profile.
He's like the I wouldn't say face of the franchise. He's just been that kind of.
He's the face of Wildcat Way.
Yeah, that's where I was going with
Yeah.
it. He's that not a cornerstone, but he's like he's the definition of the Wildcat Way.
Yeah.
You know, there's been him and Peltz are kind of if you want to make it here in Moncton and you want to be a fan favorite, those are the two guys that you want to look up to. And I just so happen to think that we drafted one on Saturday that's going to be that next Wildcat Way type of player.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a segue.
The Q Draft Preview on the Wildcast Podcast.
Nailed it.
Good skills, bro. Good skills. First of all, like we said in the opening, we want to thank the QMJHL and Maxime Blouin for that bad boy, for a media pass. 6 years of hard work finally paid off.
And this
and
right
the Moncton
here.
Wildcats for giving us access to the draft floor as well. These swanky new Wildcats draft caps. We got a couple of those. And granting us access to interviews. And, we probably could have got a few more if we'd have been up in their suite looking for it. But I just didn't want to bombard them with things. They were
Didn't want to ask for too much.
yeah, exactly. Didn't want to bother them and be like, can we have this? Can we have this? Can we have this? Can we have this? So I mean, we had Caleb Denoye on. Olivier Boutin, we got to talk to him. One of us did. Your mic was off.
Yeah, I'm glad my mic was off because oh my god, Did I ever
You'd have thought you were-
absolutely butcher that, man? Like,
First question was really
crap. I went from like pro sports reporter to like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like it was a debacle, and I'm like Jesus, this guy's not gonna want to report to training camp if these idiots are around the rink.
In fairness, you probably didn't hear my question, which was what can you bring, and so you repeated the question because it was quite loud. And for those 65 people that were on most of our live and the 1,600 that popped in at different times, we thought the mic sounded great. We had no real idea they didn't sound great. I mean, they picked up a lot of stuff, including a lot of different sounds and music and stuff from the draft. So we apologize for that. But hey, if you could kind of make out what we were saying, we do appreciate you sticking with us. I think my other favorite part is when Richie came over.
Oh yeah,
behind us,
the impromptu Richie interview.
The impromptu Richie. So we didn't ask him for an interview early on after pick 6, I believe, in between pick 6 and the first round, and he comes over.
Hey guys,
leans
what do you
down.
think? What
Hey,
do you
hey,
think
guys.
so far, guys? Oh, are you guys live? Oh, hey.
Yeah, he turns, he looks dead in the camera, goes, "Are you guys live? We want to thank Richie Tebow for joining us during the first round." Blah blah blah, and he kind of went from like jokingly like, "What do you guys think?" to
Serious Richie.
GM face. Well, we got a lot of good players, and we were able to get up and get
Lottery Richie.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty good. So, just quickly looking at our mock draft here, I think we at least got 3.
I got Lamprana right, didn't I?
I was gonna say I'm gonna check that just quickly off the top 3. I'm actually getting it. So we got Denoye, Guite, Norbert.
Really?
Yeah, we got Norbert at 3. You took Norbert because
Let's
you
go.
were gonna take Wang, and then we talked to Cedric.
Yeah.
And you were like, after talking to Cedric, I think I'm gonna go with this player, and you
Yeah.
took Norbert.
Let's go.
So we went. Technically, we went Wang 4, Leconte 5.
Yeah.
And Leconte went 4, and Wang went 5, both to Chicoutimi. But I think we kind of Carrier, no. Owen Conrad, no.
He was a complete fall off the board, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
So that was, I mean, we technically got the top 5 just in the wrong order.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to us because why not?
I
Owen
thought-
Conrad went 20th. We had him going 8.
That was wow, Conrad. That's a steal, man. Like I can't believe he fell. Like I don't know if there's a reason why he fell, but that's a steal for Charlottetown, right? That's a steal. Him and Kiersey are going to be on that blue line for 3 or 4 years together.
Yep.
And they're going to do some really good things for Charlottetown, so they should be super pumped about that.
Oh, we were close on Chandler.
Really?
He went 16. We had him 13. Damn. Yeah. Louis Alex Tremblay, we had 12 to Chicoutimi. He went 13 to Sherbrooke.
Damn it.
So, again, without trades, this is quite
Yeah.
tough. I did not have... I had LaSalle going 16, and he went 10. So, hey, we were better than last year.
Yeah. With Lompron, where do we have?
We had... Villeneuve went 6, or went 7, and we had him going 6.
Where did Lompron? Where do we have Lompron?
9. And he went 9.
Yes.
Yes!
Got it. Woo! I knew I had it.
Yeah, you took him there. Well done. Yeah. So Prude home went a little earlier than we thought, but that was a way better mock draft than what we did last year. We just had the first 2. So we are getting better at this, ladies and gentlemen. So
That's 4 out of 20, boys.
so stick with us. So
That's like 1/5
yeah, that's pretty good.
fractions.
I guess your surprise is Conrad at 20 in the first round.
My surprise is Conrad, at 20. That was definitely a drop. Same thing with Chandler, just based on where they were on CSR. But, when I talk about Chandler, his skating he's I wouldn't say he's got some bricks in his skates, but, he's got a wicked shot. And I think if he can work on his skating all summer, I think he's going to make his pick seem like a steal.
I think for me is 12 is Emile Ricard to Cape Breton. I think that shocked a lot of people there. He seems like he's going to make his way to Cape Breton. If I translated one of the articles,
he's
he
already,
said Dubois went there, Fleury went there, Emil Ricard is going to go there. I think the reason that myself and a lot of people were shocked was Cole Chandler was still on the board, Owen Conrad was still on the board, and say what you will about Cape Breton, sometimes they have tough times getting guys to report. I thought they'd take their own guy. I think I had them taking Owen Conrad at 8 before they moved. So I think that for me was one of the surprises, and the other one was probably Zach Wheeler falling almost out of the second round. Like, we had him at the end of the first. You talked about him last year and into this year, and I did on the color games for the Flyers. He should be a top 10 pick. He's a top 10 pick all year, talking about it. And did a tournament one every 4 years hurt him that bad?
That's what people are saying. Believe it or not, it seems like
I mean, if that doesn't motivate him in Blainville.
Yeah. And it's a good fit. Blainville's a really good fit for him. They're a rebuilding team, and he should be able to crack that roster. Yep. He should be able to play there next year, and good for him. It's almost like one of those perfect opportunities.
Yep. And then they went and took his teammate, Noah Collette, which just helps from the fact that, I don't know if Noah Collette will make it, but the fact that he can go down there and have some familiarity with a teammate, getting used to that city in a new city. Good for him. I mean, a lot of our first round guys, Kilfoyle, Elliot Dubé, they kind of fell a little bit into the second round. St. John going with that random American like St. John does. Was he there?
Even Beveridge was at the draft. Yeah, and
that's pretty. I mean, if they can get him.
And they've got him. Like, he's 100% committed. He actually went and told USHL teams not to take him because he wanted to play CHL. And so he should have been a first or second round pick in the USHL draft, but I think he didn't go till like a 5th or 6th round. Yeah. So teams clearly believed what he was saying, and that's a good catch for St. John. He seems interested in playing in the CHL, and it's too bad he wasn't an American draft selection, because he'd literally be the first American draft selection to play for the team that picked him.
Yep.
But no, it's that's a good. There was an article in the Telegraph Journal, Kevin Barrett talking to Anthony Stella, and Anthony Stella's like, I think his parents were pissed off at how many times I called, because I was calling that family day after day after day after day. Are you sure you want to come here? Do we have your commitment? If we pick you, will you be here? And the answer was yes, 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 and yes. So good for the Sea Dogs. It's obviously not a player that we know very much about. So he seems like he's should be a steal of a player.
Yeah, and before we get into our group from last Wednesday to Saturday, that's a big win for both Maritime teams, and St. John getting him to report, and Charlottetown getting Mitchell, the kid from Shaddix, St. Mary's. Butler.
Yeah, Matthew Butler.
Matthew Butler, not Mitchell. That's a big win for the Maritimes division to get those two players from American programs out of the USHL into our division, our league.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Butler thing doesn't really surprise me. He's from Newfoundland, and you've seen Marcus Kiersey, do really good things for Charlottetown. So I'm sure he kind of helped with that recruiting process. Probably threw in some Brett Budgel phone calls too to the Butler family on that one. But no, it's a really good pickup. He's just really skilled player. Like he's gonna do some really good things in Charlottetown.
Yay, 8-9 times a year. So I mean, going back to the trade deadline, we haven't had a show since then. I mean, Felion getting a first rounder return is not a return that we thought we'd see. And yes, it was the 20th pick that went through 8 other teams or some silliness like that. Yeah. But it was basically free that they turned around and flipped that to Bathurst for Olivier Boutin. So it was a first and a 7th to Bathurst for Boutin, the 6th, and Drummondville 2nd overall. And then they made another move, sending Hugo Marcel and Manic Saracen for a 10th and a 5th rounder in 2024. I mean, you take Filion and you flip him into a 20-year-old defenseman in Olivier Boutin. Basically, the trade kind of washes because the 20th overall pick is basically a second-round pick. There was only 20 because of the non-reporting for Chicoutimi last year. Drummondville's 2nd in 2024 could be a close to high pick. They kind of wash out, and I think, like I said to him when I interviewed him, we've only seen him twice. Fans have only seen him play here and there. Fans aren't tuning in to see Gatineau.
That's right.
And this is a veteran defenseman that this young core, which we saw get much younger with the loss of Darcy and Iasenza. Shout out to Darcy for winning a Memorial Cup. I think he's just going to step in and just lead a very young core.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think, and you kind of nailed it there, Adam. You said like it's Gatineau. You're not going to sit around and on a off night, a Wildcats off night, and watch Gatineau. I don't think people realize how good Olivier Boutin really is. He's going to come in and really help out that there's still a young D-core. Grendier is going to be 18. Forte Gendron is going to be 17. Ballantyne got limited ice time last year. I think it's a good acquisition. Some people will say we pretty much got him for free.
Yeah.
Right? And it's as much as you want to critique what I just said, I mean, put the math together. We pretty much got him for free.
Yeah.
And
a 6th and a 7th, really. I mean,
because it's a wash, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's probably going to be one of the top overage defensemen in the league next year.
And I think the player that he's going to help out the most is Nathan Grenier. And I think he's going to be that defenseman that helps get the puck out right away. It makes a good first pass. We had a lot of issues with that. I remember saying that time after time on the live that get the puck out, get the puck out, get the puck out. Like, once they can't get it out, they scramble, and that's where a lot of our issues came from. And he's a good puck-moving defenseman. I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised that Marcel was dealt, but I think I'm surprised Marcel was dealt when he was dealt. I thought he may be on the team. I had him as my third defenseman. Now, this was before Boutin got here, but I had him as my third defenseman. So I thought maybe you could have Boutin, Morin, Forte Gendron, and Marcel as your top 4 going into Christmas. And like Richie said, he did a lot of good things. He came in as a free agent. He had a lot of good offensive numbers. Maybe you turn that into something a little more at the Christmas trade period. So I don't know if I was surprised by the move, but I was surprised when the move happened.
The way I look at it is, to me, Ballantyne's got more upside than Marcel. And I think we saw Marcel really flourish because, like, I think I've said 1,000 times during the season that Ballantyne should be playing more. And this trade will allow him to play more. Marcel clearly loved it here, and it's just one of those trades I think Richie said that you don't like making because he loved it here, but he will play a lot more in Sherbrooke, and Saracen will actually play in the league in Sherbrooke, so it's an ice time move, right? It's a responsibility move that was made, and Marcel's going to have increased responsibilities in Sherbrooke, and his responsibilities was, I mean, I didn't know what to expect from him when he got to Moncton. I didn't know anything about him. Crying out loud, he was playing midget AA, I think 3 years ago.
Something
right?
like that.
He came out of absolute nowhere. And anytime you can take a free agent and flip it, that's very good asset management. And that's what happened.
Yep. And that's why in Thibault we trust, because he's able to move and flip these players, and I don't think it's any more accurate than moving Filion for a first rounder. And this is not a shot at Filion, but
and it's
like
not just that. I mean,
like the limited ice time he had, and when he had it, he was not great because he had the limited ice time and he didn't quite develop the way he should have. I think we talked off air and in our chat, like, I didn't even want to say a second rounder because I didn't think that's what they would get for him. I was like, well, if you get a third rounder, because you can't attach it to a first round like the Spence deal, that's why I sit behind a microphone and I play GM. So Rimouski doesn't make their trip here until mid-January, January 16th, I believe, and then we go up to Rimouski the weekend before. But it's a player that needed a fresh start, and I hope all the best things for Filion.
Yeah, and it looks like he's. I think we said on the live during the draft, it's maybe you could hear it, maybe you didn't, but in Rimouski, it looks like it's going to be Vince Filion and William Lassell, right? As a goaltending tandem.
I thought Harmala was back, but you didn't think he was.
No, Harmala is gone. Robert is gone. That's basically it.
Do they have a coach yet? I don't
No.
think Rimouski has a coach.
Whoa.
No. All right.
No, they don't. So, yeah, and just getting back to, like, trades and stuff like that.
We didn't see the blockbuster. We didn't see the Gabriel Dag.
No, we didn't, which is... Luneau will get traded. And
he's still with Gatineau, isn't he?
he's still with Gatineau.
Noah Warren got dealt.
Warren got dealt. Varel got dealt.
Yeah.
So they still have Sam Savoie and Tristan Luneau, which will help that team maybe win some games in the first half, provide some leadership. But after that, it'll be a complete train wreck in Gatineau.
The after Christmas team.
Yeah, the after Christmas team. No, but getting on the trade topic, case in point, why you make your trades the night before the draft was clearly proven. To get the 6th pick, which ended up being Sean Carrier. Yes, we gave up the 13th pick and our first rounder next year, but when who was it? Drummondville traded it to Sherbrooke, or Sherbrooke traded it to who ended up with the 7th pick? Blainville?
Yeah, Blainville for Shawinigan.
Yeah. So Blainville traded 17th. Shawinigan trades to Drummondville?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what Blainville gave to Shawinigan?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Shawinigan gave the 7th and the
Right.
26th.
Yeah. So Blainville had to give up technically 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders to get 7th overall. 1 pick after Moncton.
Sniped him.
And we gave up 2 firsts. That's why you do trades the night before the draft rather than on the trade floor, because prices will escalate as you're doing trades on the floor. So another strategically excellent move by the hockey ops team there in Moncton. And yeah, I think that 6th pick is going to be a very, very good one. So for those who are saying, I don't like trading up unless you're getting a good player.
Why didn't we stay at 13 and take an 18? And we could have had this guy. And a wise hockey man once told me.
Because you're getting a damn good player.
Not even that. A wise man once told me, you make a move for a player, you know what you're getting.
Yep.
You trade draft picks, you don't quite know what you're getting. Yes, the 13th and 18th could be great players in the queue. Absolutely. Who is that? Louis-Alex Tremblay and Jabaz Seymour. Could be great players in the queue. They also could have a tough time and need to change their scenery 2 years down the road. You literally don't know. So if you have a guy in mind that you want to go get, and we've talked about this with Richie all the time, is he stays true to his board and he goes and he gets his guys. And that's what he did. Pretty easy to stay true to his board with Caleb Denoyer, the number 1 overall pick. He just like his brother. Love the kid. Had a chance to interview him, and what can he bring to Moncton?
Wants to bring a cup.
A 200-foot game, and I hope I can bring a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And where have we heard that before?
Cups. He said cups.
Yep. And where have we heard that before?
Yep.
So I'm all in on that. Then they moved up again, giving up a first rounder next year. All right.
We have 2 seconds next year. We can
Yeah.
make a move into the first. Whatever.
To take Sean Carrier,
Mhm.
who was Denway's line mate at the Canada Games,
Yeah.
and is also dating Denway's sister, so they are really good friends.
Are they?
Yeah,
Actually?
that's the info I got today.
Funny.
Yeah, so they're really good friends, and I mean, if you can get 2 players that played together in a tournament and had success and know each other and are good friends, then why? And you can make that move. Absolutely. You look at next year. They got what, 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and then in 2025 they got a first and 2/3. So there's still room to make some movement, either to get into the first round next year or the year after that. They've still got some capital to go get guys if we host the Memorial Cup in 2025. So, and then instead of the 18th pick, they traded the 18th pick and a third rounder to Baie-Comeau for Vincent Collard, who we talked about a month ago. I do like this player coming to Moncton, getting a change of scenery. So we now have first round pick, 6th overall pick, and the 3rd pick from just 2 years ago out of the first round. I love what they did in that first round. I like that they addressed everything. 4 through 10, a lot of Maritimers. We talked about that the rest of the weekend. One of us got pretty drunk, so we didn't go live. So that's why you're getting the coverage right now. I don't know which one, but one of us did.
Wasn't me.
But again, they got a lot of Maritimers and a lot of local guys, and I don't necessarily hate that move because you got to have guys local, and these are the guys that work. And Layla asked us the difference between Maritimers and Quebec players and all this, and there are very good Maritime players, but a lot of the times they're kind of the skill guy or the working guys, and you can't have enough of the working Wildcat way guys, and you get a lot of character in those players.
You're right. It's I'm not. Was I surprised they took a lot of Maritimers? Yeah, I was. It's definitely not what I expected, but I also think they kind of hit on their picks. It's you're not going to be able to go and get a stud guy who's going to put up 80, 90, 100 points in the 4th, 5th, 6th round unless you're completely lucky and you pull a Connor Garland out of the back of your head. Yeah. That's just not going to happen. That's anything really past the 3rd round are like your 75% chance they're going to be depth players.
Yep.
And that's what you're going to get with Easton Schlender. That's what you're going to get with, a Caden McGuigan. That's what you're going to get with guys like that. There's players that I think they kind of hit on later in the rounds. It looked like guys like, Luke Sinclair and Drew Keever. Those are two Maritimers. Well, they're going to go play. They're not going to play in the Q next year. There's just absolutely no room.
Nope.
But they're going to go play prep probably in the U.S. And from there, you've got to see what you can do with them. There's and it wouldn't be a Wildcats draft without picking a former player's son, and it happened twice.
Yeah.
There's I mentioned Cade McGuigan. If you don't know his story about what happened in his youth,
Google it.
It's I don't know. You got to Google
Pull
it.
in for that guy.
Yep. We are cheering for him. But no, a guy like Schlender, he's just someone who's going to play hard and he's going to be tough. He's going to go in the dirty areas. He's going to work. I think he's probably going to be a high pick in the Maritime Hockey League draft. If he plays Junior A next year at 16, it's really going to help his development. And then he can probably play, maybe a call up here or there in the second half of the season, maybe be a full timer in 2024, 2025. We'll see. Look at Ben Lindsay, who's just a big and sturdy, strong defenseman, and I think he progressed a lot during the season. You look at the Monktonian where he wasn't really on the radar, and then by the time the Ice Jam rolled around 2 months later, he was on the radar. Like he's had his season there was tremendous growth in the season. Again, probably a player that I don't know if he can play some. I don't know if he'd play Junior A next year, but I also think physically he's too strong for U18, so maybe he can play some Junior A. McGuigan, his upside is really good. He's like probably your power forward type of player. If he's gonna score goals and get points, he's gonna do it by going to the net, and he's gonna take a beating doing it. But he's also a player who doesn't mind getting slashed and hacked and whacked. And we just happened to draft the tallest player in the draft as well, Tristan Langlois. 6'5" and like 190 pounds. Like his size is obviously noticeable on the ice, and it's he's a project. You call a project defenseman, and despite his size, he's not that physical shutdown defenseman. To me, I think he's more of a two-way guy. And there's other guys that they probably hit on in later rounds that could end up having a career in the queue. So it's to me, I think it was a really good draft for Moncton. They addressed some needs and got the players they needed. And there's even the two Americans. There's I think it's Niles and Pelletieri.
Niles was the 14th pick.
Yeah, Niles with 14th round, and then Pelletieri. Like, these are two guys who...
And Shane Gould.
Yeah, so... Yeah, the Niles and Pelletieri, these are two guys who apparently have zero interest in playing NCAA. They want to play junior hockey. They want to play CHL. They actually came to Moncton, believe it or not, during the second round against Halifax, watched a game at the Avenir Center, got a tour of the building. So that just shows they're
building for the win.
Yeah, they're invested. They want to play. They want to play junior, and Shane Gould, if they can get him to play junior, I think it's one of those guys who he's just a high end talent, elite skating defenseman.
Pelletieri's 6 foot or 5'9", 208.
He's thick, man. He's a thick boy.
Yeah, that is a big boy.
He's when I look at him, I think Zach Malatesta.
Done.
Just a thick guy. Plays physical, open ice hits, but also can kind of chip in offensively as well. So all in all, I thought it was a pretty good draft. And
yep.
We'll see. I think, the Desnoyers and Carrier and Collard guys, they'll obviously Collard, but yeah, the
Desnoyers. But that's your first round.
Yeah, like Desnoyers and Carrier will 100% be on the team.
Yep.
In August or September, whenever the season starts. The other guys, maybe not so much. They need to play some results to get some more ice time and to develop. But
if they're playing for elsewhere to get some development back in their U18 team or junior A for a year or two, well, guess what? We're going to be rebuilding in a year or two, and we need these guys that have work ethic and have some seasoning. And it's great to have the top end guys that obviously 1 and 2 and 3 rounds, and those are your stars that you usually have and you build around. But I've said it many times, you can trust Richie's drafts at the back end. I mean, Thomas Darcy was an 8th round pick. Daniel was an 11th. OJ was the 12th. Mueller was a 10th. Oh, come on, computer. You're making me look stupid. 2021. Lounsbury 4. Bayerjean, who's going to be in the league at 5. Ryan Hackett is a 10th. He has a shot to make
Manic Saracen.
It's going to Sherbrooke now. Has a shot to make the team. Hackett had a cup of coffee, played quite well.
And if somebody, based on the season that Keegan Warren played, there could be a team that's like, we'd like to have his rights.
Okay.
14th round pick, it's
there's a chance goalies like to surprise coming out of camp. Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Goalies take so long to develop.
That's true.
A 14th round pick like Keegan Warren could end up being a starter for a rebuilding team.
And again, they've done a really good job of drafting guys that when they play in junior and junior A, they win championships, or junior A and U18. they're winning championships, and Keegan Warren is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Delorier was the third, but you've got Eli James, who played really well in the preseason. Last year's draft's going to be tough, but Riley Sampson, a 7th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pretty good cup of coffee in a few call-ups. So do I see anybody after Carrier, Denvoyer, and obviously Collard, but Denvoyer and Carrier making the team this year? No. Do I see some of these guys getting a cup of coffee on a road trip with injuries? Absolutely. I mean, Easton Schindler, he could start the year here for a little while. He could be a call-up on a road trip through Cape Breton and Halifax if there's an injury, depending where he goes. Like, Ryan Daw, that's a Newfoundland kid. I mean, he's big. Yeah, 6'2", 174. That's where I was looking at. I was like, where's my mind going? 6'2", 174. Like, that's a big defenseman. Luc Morin, I watch him a lot with the Flyers. Good, simple puck-moving defenseman. He's a little short, but all these kids are a little small when they're coming out of U16. So, yeah, I don't think any of them will really make the squad this year, like an impact, but they will get cups of coffee, and that's all you want, is because this group is able to get these guys playing limited minutes, a couple call-ups here and there, and they're having success. And Saracen, we said it last year when he got a couple games and Samson got a couple games, they didn't look out of place in the roles they were playing, and that's what you're kind of looking for. They didn't take a defenseman until the 5th round. Were you a little surprised by that they took a few more forwards this time than defensemen when the forward group is, we're going to do a roster here in a minute after our interview, but the forward group is, like, there's a lot of good forwards on the team right now, and defense, I was surprised they didn't take a few more defensemen.
Yeah, it was, once they got to that 4th-round pick, and I was like, okay, well, they took Desnoyers, they took Carrier, they've added Collard. I think this is going to be a defenseman, and when I first saw the name Easton Schlender, I thought he was a defenseman until I looked up that he was a forward.
Good, solid name though, Easton.
Oh yeah, it's a dub name for sure.
Oh, we had a couple of those. What was the other one?
Caden McGuigan.
Caden McGuigan
is a dub name.
That's a dub name. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but Ben Lindsay's also, I think, someone who can probably play on this team. Maybe as early as, I think he's about a year and a half away. But we'll see. On this team, we'll see. But he's definitely a Q player, and we'll see where he ends up. And there's a lot of players on this that they was drafted that will play in this league. It's just a matter of will it be with Moncton, or will a team like, we really like this player and we will overpay to get their rights, and that's asset management.
Yep. So we obviously had the media access, so we were able to get some players, and we were pleased to be joined by head scout, who we tried to have on before the draft, but he was a little busy, so we waited till after the American draft to have him on, and that was head scout Alex Gauthier. So here is his interview.
All right, the draft is wound down. It's been a long day, Jeremy. We're here with head scout Alex Gauthier. I guess let's just start at the top. Caleb Denvoyer. A lot of people had him as a consensus pick for about 6 months. Jeremy and I had talked about, there was a small part of us that thought maybe not, but just talk about Caleb Denvoyer and what you saw in him all year long that kept him at the top of our list.
Yeah, absolutely. So Caleb, with the obvious connection with Elliott, we knew he was coming since a couple of years already. So when we won the lottery, at that point of the season, I don't think there was any doubt with who we were going to pick when we won the lottery. And Caleb is just he's a true centerman, a tall guy. Like, he's close to 6'2" right now. Like, the people are going to be surprised by his size and how he skates and the playmaking ability. And he has the character of the, I will not compare his character to Jake Paulson, but in some ways, those top guys, they just want to be the best. Yep. Like, and that's what Caleb will push the other guy to be better, because he wants to be the top guys and he wants to win. And that's he's a pretty much total package at center, and offensively what he can bring, he will have an impact early for sure.
And moving up to 6th overall to take Sean Carrier. Anytime you move up in the draft, people will question, okay, was it worth it? Well, what's Sean Carey going to bring to the Wildcats team so the fans know what they're getting?
Yeah, Sean is a guy that was targeted by a lot of team close to that pick, so we knew we had to get up to 6 if we wanted him. And I think when we met with Sean was really the moment that we said, like, okay, that's the kid we want. The character and the compete level, the speed is a very good offensive player. Just to give the guys a little example, he got 15 more points than Caleb last year in Bantam. So, the guy can play offensively as well. And Caleb and Sean played together at the Canada Games on the Team Quebec team. And they really did well together. So they are good friends and they get along well. So that was important for us. And what I said to Richie all the time, at the point we are in our cycle, I think we need to go quality over quantity. And yes, we sacrifice maybe a good player by giving the first round pick next year, but we think we can find a way to find it back, and we should be fine with that.
And that's what Richie's talked about the few years we've had him on the show, is the Wildcat way and getting players to buy into the room. And Jeremy and I talked about it on the live on draft day. I mean, this room, I don't want to say it was fractured, but they were very up and down throughout the season. And now you've got a guy like Desnoyers, who's a leader on that team. You got Sean Carey, who's Richie compared him to a Pelche type guy. Is that just kind of something that you were looking for, part of the Wildcat way, is guys that are good in their individual locker rooms that you can bring into a locker room? Yeah, they're 16, but they're leaders in their own locker room. They know how to rally a group.
I think we need that guy with where we are again going forward for the 2 good years, next 2 years. I think we needed guys that had the character to find their ways and push for ice time and push the other guys that are there. And yes, it's important. Character, we won't lie, it's important. There were guys in this draft that we will have a top time select because of characters. And but these two, I mean, there's no issue there. They will bring everybody up with them.
I like that Desnoyers wants to win a championship. And he said that at the draft. He also said that to us, too, in our interview. So
after that, we actually saw a string of Maritime players off the board. Eastern Slender, Ben Lindsay, Caden McGuigan, Luke Sinclair. Just tell us about those guys, what they're going to bring to the organization.
Yeah, obviously, it just happened like that. Like last year, we drafted more Quebec kids. This year, it just ended up that on our list of players that were next and coming and that we liked were athletic player. Schlender was way higher than that on our list because he filled a role that we really like. He's a very good athlete. He's built like a truck. He hits hard. He shoots the pucks. He had a great progression this year. So how he progressed, we project him to be a very good complement to the quality talent we got at the top. And he's a natural right shot player, so he kind of fits in. You know what? At one point, when those 3 guys are 18, 19, they might be just on the same line. And if not, I mean, Easton, I think, will for sure find a way to bring something to the table because of what he is. And then if we move on to Ben Lindsay, it's a tall D. We drafted big early in the draft, so he's a tall D, like close to probably 6'2" right now. Good skater for his size, moved the puck, played the power play with Cole Harbour. He had a good finish. He was on Team Nova Scotia for the game as well. He will need to improve his strength. He's tall, but he's not strong right now. But when he'll do that, he'll be very efficient, we think, down the road. And if we continue with Caden McGeegan. Him and Schlender were relatively close on our list, and they fill the same type of role. And McKeegan, when we see him still in there in the 6, I was like, oh, we'll just pick. We never have enough character and physical, and it's the type of player that usually we seem unable to get. Not that we don't like, but just they fall in the crack. And this draft, we were able to draft that type of player that bring the physical side. And McKeegan's a good player. Like, he was one of the top guys for PI at the Canada Games, and he will be a tough guy to play against on the road for sure. I can complete because you mentioned Luke Sinclair. Luke is a very talented player. He's playing out of Sydney, so it was a little bit of a weaker team this year. And he was one of the leading scorers in Bantam scoring in Nova Scotia. So I think he has great upside. He needs to work on his strength and a little bit of his skating, but down the road, I think offensively he can be a very nice surprise for our club. I think he can end up, like if you would have told me at the end of the season he would have been at the beginning of the season he would have been there in 7th round, I would have said no way, this guy is for sure a first 3-round pick. So very happy to get him there.
Yeah, it looked definite, and it's been a thing that they had last year too in terms of size and getting big guys that can play, and that's kind of the way that the Wildcats have gone. I guess just looking back on last year's draft, just quickly taking Gabe Smith, he's made leaps and bounds strides. Just talk about what you saw in his progression, because I'm sure you've kept track of him since last year.
Yeah, Gabe, I think everybody on the team loves Gabe. I think I think it will be just what we thought he will be down the road. He just started to understand when he uses his body, when he's physical, what he can bring to the table. And the good thing with Gabe is that he's smart. He can shoot the puck. He can pass the puck. He's an intelligence player, right? So he knows, and I think he will be for sure a top 9 player for us relatively quickly, probably as soon as next year.
And it seems every year we have a selection that goes full circle. Benjamin Donfus, the son of JF Donfus, former Wildcats goalie, former Wildcats goalie coach. What are you seeing him as a defenseman?
Yeah, Ben, he played in Rothesay. He's tall. He's a defenseman. He moves well. He wasn't fully committed, I think, to the league, so that's why he went down the road, and he wanted to be picked by us. So I think he can be, if he continue to add strength in his game, and skating is there and transition is there, and we went full circle as well with you may not know that for now, but Anthony Roy that we picked in the 8th round. The son of former Wildcat Jonathan Roy, who played in the early 2000 or something like that. So that's his son as well. So that's 2 sons of former Wildcat that we picked. And Anthony is playing in Lévis, so that's where he's from. And he's a guy that, outside of the fact that he was a former Wildcat son, we like a lot of stuff about him as well. And we got him in the 8th round, and he's a late born. He will grow. He will. So I think it's a good project. Like. Tristan Langlois, we pick in the 6th. It's a 6'6" defenseman. We don't find that often, so I think he's a good project there. So really happy at the end of the day, we got a bit of everything. So we're very happy with how the draft went.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talked about. We got a piece of everything, including goaltender in Cormier, but we don't want to take too much of your time, as you're probably quite tired after a full day and a full year, but we appreciate you taking the time to do this. It's kind of been an annual thing, having you in and around the draft, and hopefully maybe we'll have you in and around the trade deadline again and talk about some of the prospects, how they're coming, and what we think is going to move forward.
Absolutely, anytime, guys. It's my pleasure to be with you for sure.
Thank you.
So, you talked about having. First of all, thanks for doing that, Alex, and to Michelle. Thanks for granting all these interviews. You knew about Benjamin Donfus, but you didn't know about Anthony Roy.
Yeah, that's right. His
son
dad,
of a former player.
That's correct. His dad, Jonathan Roy, was a key part of the Wildcats in the late '90s, and going into that the playoffs in 2020, not 2020, sorry, 2000, the year 2000, Y2K. I think that's the season where he had something like 150 points and 60 something goals. Just a ridiculous year, and we had a team that was built to win a championship, and unfortunately during that playoff run he got diagnosed with cancer, and he was obviously shut down for the rest of the season, and we didn't win a championship. It's missing out on his offensive abilities really hurt the Wildcats. But I remember that. I remember it quite fondly. I remember Mr. Irving literally paying for every expense to ensure that he got the best treatment possible. And I had no idea what he was doing with his life until 23 years later. When his son's being selected by the Wildcats. So what a
73 games, 64 goals, 61
Yeah.
assists, 124 points.
He was a
Split
heck of a
between
player.
Drummondville and Moncton.
Yeah, he
And
was
then
a
he
heck
came
of a
back
player.
in 2000 to score 58 in 45 games.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player.
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, the I didn't know until the interview with Alex that there was the Wildcats connection there, and Benjamin Donfus is obviously a very familiar name here in Moncton. His dad was a Wildcats goalie. He was a Wildcats goalie coach at one point, and I believe now he's a scout for NHL Central Scouting. So it's we seem to see this once or twice a year, and it's happened again.
I was trying to see what the Moncton Drummondville trade was for Jonathan Wall, but unfortunately it doesn't go back to 2000. The transaction records do not go back to 2000. So this is probably going to be the toughest part of the show now. It's ready to put a bow on this season, and it's our tradition to put a way to roster prediction out there. We generally are somewhat right, somewhat lot wrong with a lot of these. So you want to give this a shot again?
Well, this is probably going to be tough, but I look. We still have free agents to add. We still have a European draft that comes up, I believe, on July 5th. So I guess let's try to put a roster together.
Do you have one? Have you made one?
I haven't even touched it.
Oh, really?
Ask me on July 5th.
Is that when the draft is?
The import draft is July 5th, and literally ask me at July 5th at
On a Wednesday?
3 p.m.
Why is it on a Wednesday?
I don't know. I'm not
Why do
sure.
they put this crap during the week when regular people have jobs?
Well, this is also an online thing, so you just refresh your computer.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
At least it's not like the import drafts of 15 years ago where each team had 15 minutes to make a pick. So you would start at 10 o'clock in the morning and the European draft wouldn't end till 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
What?
Now it's just like, okay, we make your pick. We'll put the team, next player, next team. It's pretty.
There's 15 minutes?
15 minutes for the
Good
import
Lord.
draft, like 10, I think it was like 10 years ago. But yeah, it was a very, very major, very, very long day sitting at your computer and
I would
refreshing. But no, we still got an import draft. We still have free agents to add. And
All right, so maybe we don't put a technical roster together, but we can answer some questions. Is Barb's back? Because that
I don't know,
the
man.
pressing one. Like I've tried to put a couple rosters together, and I jotted one down and I sent one to you. So I'll throw mine out there, but
look, if he's back,
I don't have him on mine. Like I don't think he's back.
and if he's not, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing if he is,
Yeah.
because you can be like, okay, well, yeah, sure, we traded a 2024 first round pick to move up to 6th. Well, a player like Max Barbashev might have first round value. If you're a contending team, and a team like Victoriaville or a team like Drummondville or Halifax for that matter, as much as I'd hate to see Max Barbashev go to Halifax,
Halifax doesn't have a first round in 24.
well, still, but you know where I'm going
Yeah,
with it, right? It's
yeah,
like
I'm just looking kind of quickly, and Drummondville's got one.
Mhm.
Victo has one.
Yeah.
Ren doesn't, but
Like
Yeah.
you're looking at players like your teams that might want to add a European to their
Yeah.
roster to help with the
Halifax needs a European because they
wait
Potentially.
till July 5th. I think they've got a few tricks up their
they
sleeve
always
here.
do. But looking at the roster right now, like they're losing both their Europeans. That
Yeah.
could be a good spot where
Yeah.
you potentially upgrade on a European.
Mm-hmm. So no, there's look, I don't know if Max Barbashev coming back to the queue, because a 20-year-old Euro technically takes up 2 roster spots. Is that worth a first round pick? Well, it depends. Depends what the price is, and if
Depends what your Euros
If-
are on your
look,
team.
there's going to be if Vince Fillion gets a first round pick,
Yeah.
Max Barbashev is worth a first round pick. But I know
Yeah.
it's a different comparison. But no, we hope and pray he does, because technically Moncton will be making 2 European selections. And if Max Barbashev is sent down, well, unfortunately, the player I think you probably picked in the second round of the import draft will be released. But let's That's our gain, and we're probably 4 months away from getting the answer to that question.
Just trying to see what Drummondville's Euros were. Thomas Holnick.
Yeah.
And they just acquired Peter Repsick.
Well, Repsick will.
Yeah.
Barbashev was an upgrade on Repsick.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But that was their. Oh, and they got Tomov
Tomov, yeah. So
from Bulgaria.
So we will see. I mean,
yeah.
it's Max Barbashev is it's a question mark, and I'm sure he's on the depth chart somewhere, but it's probably a question mark. We'll probably take I don't know, maybe a forward and defenseman, maybe even a goalie for all we know. It's I'm not even touching the European thing. That's not my folder.
No, that folder's tough enough to guess as it is when you think you know who it is. Victoriaville's just got 2. Of the 2 teams you mentioned, they got Gorinov and Shipov, whatever it is. So, there's 2 likely landing spots. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't had him in any of the rosters that just going off the preseason thing before the draft. I didn't have him on because I don't think he'll be back. Hopefully he is to help in the first half, but also to get a pick. But again, now you have Trenholm, Daniel, Boutin, Plandowski, and Barbashev. That's 5 Euros right now, technically on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm glad we sit behind here and we don't make these decisions because that's a pretty difficult decision. I'm thinking the same thing not Euro style, free agent style, like 5 free agents and 2 or 3 may make the team.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to go for quality over quantity. Again, that just seems to be the approach. And, those names should be added or announced within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to look at, pay attention to, I guess, maybe our social medias. I'm not sure if the team would be so hyped up to announce a free agent signing unless it's a
big name.
Yeah.
Unless have you checked flights? Is there any flights from?
Where
did I say? North.
Where's that Eisman kid from? I don't know.
I was gonna type Minnesota when I was messaging you, like check the flights from Minnesota, but where did I actually say he was from? North something, Massachusetts. Newburyport, Massachusetts.
I don't even know they have an airport.
No, it's just. I mean, he could probably drive. Here, but
there's.
He's not the signing. I don't know, but he's not the signing this year. He would be the signing going into, hey, we secured the Memorial Cup. Mm-hmm. This is who we're signing in the offseason. Here's our photo. And for all we know, Richie's got 2024 board roster put together, depth chart, and our Mem Cup depth chart. And he could be on that Mem Cup depth chart.
Very well.
Right?
I mean, there's at this point, you've got to start putting some names together. And
I'm all about ticket deals from our owner, being a big ticket club. We might not be ticket deals, but he'll put things together to get a Memorial Cup and to finally win that Memorial Cup. And if Cole Eiserman is the missing piece to that, he'll sure as shit put him on there, or at least try to get him on there.
Yeah, that's one of those. If it ever happens, it's one of that would be a big deal. If he ever decided to, decommit from North Dakota, I think Minnesota. Minnesota, right? And that would just be I don't know. That's one of those things where
your mind can't handle what that would be like.
No, I wouldn't be able to put it into words. But no, there's going to be free agents added probably within the next week. Players that are coming to camp that are looking to push for a spot, and there's probably going to be maybe 1, 2, 3 that actually make it. That's why I think let's wait until after the import draft. For me, I can't do anything right now. There's just too many question marks.
You just don't want to. You want to have actual names in there. That's all.
Well, I do.
You don't want to have question marks. That's all.
I don't want to have a player on there that's.
You don't want to have a blank space, right?
Yeah.
Like this could be a free agent on the third line right wing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was more so how do you put it together. Is the Barbs is the big question for me. Like, he hasn't been back. Goaltending is the other question because you got Eli James on the roster. You got Keegan Warren on the roster. Last year, Steinman was a free agent that had success. Couture was a camp invite that had success. I mean, he played the Q. He was technically a free agent, but not from Ontario. But they've had success with Ontario free agents. And like I said, can Keegan Warren do enough to make the roster? Yes. Can Eli James? Yes, if they have good camps. Lavallee made the roster. He had a great camp. Like, we always get surprised by goaltending that we think, oh, this goaltender, like Filion and this guy from their, like, they drafted or this and this. And then Steinman steals the show. Yeah. And so that'll be an interesting battle to see at camp, depending on what the free agent is. Hell, it might even be a Euro goalie again.
That's it. Yeah, you never know. It's European goalies would be someone you'd probably need to have. You'd almost have to promise specific ice time or games to a European goalie. So I'm not sure if that's the route they're going to take, but I can easily see them going on to Ontario again because there's just
they've had so much success.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so much free agents. It's like, all right, well, this guy's good. This guy's good. This guy's good. Let's bring him in. And I'm not touching rosters right now. There's not enough for me to.
It's okay to make a guess, bro.
Well,
not right now, but like
I said, you send me a message at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on July 5th. I'll put together a roster for you.
So we'll put it on our social media. So stay tuned on our social media. We'll put a roster together.
Yeah, that's all I need. I need to know free agents. I need to know Euros, and I can probably put it together. But right now, there's too much. There's too many question marks.
That's fair. I think last year we were able to do that because the season was so long that we had the Euro draft. We had the free agents named already. When the season finally ended because of COVID, everything got pushed back. So that's it, man. That'll put a wrap on our 6th season, 50 episodes. And those episodes are not possible without our wonderful sponsors this season. Eric Murray Realty for the Stick Tap of the Week. Rosemary Lynn Massage and Spa for the Wildcats Wildcat of the Week. The Local Sports Pub for the Weekly Rewind. And, of course, Alpha's Appliance Solutions for our 2023 draft coverage to all our guests this season from around the Q Media. We thank you for jumping on with us. It was good to finally meet you. I mean, other than Tozer and Breyer and Pat. We've seen them before, but the actual Quebec media that we've had, it was good to finally see them. The Islanders, the Sea Dogs for granting us a couple media passes this season. Hopefully we can have more. Again, thanks to the Wildcats for granting us access this weekend to a Bhutan interview with the first overall selection, Caleb Desnoyers. And earlier this year, we had Alexis Daniel on. Hopefully, again, this continues and we can have a better relationship with the team and more players on next season to kind of amp up this coverage. And to you, the fan listeners, you are the reason listening all year long. You're the reason we do this. So whether it's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, you're the reason we travel 11 hours to Quebec, or no, 9 hours to Quebec to do this all over the Maritimes. You guys, we appreciate you more than you know. And to you, man, thanks for coming over for 50 weeks, 50 episodes in 39 weeks.
Like I said earlier, you keep paying me under the table. We got it done.
Beauty. We are back for our season 7 premiere in August. I know the first game is August 22nd, so in and around there, we'll have that date. You have an excellent, safe summer.
You too, man.
Thank you.
You too.
For Jeremy,
invite me to go golfing sometime.
Done.
I'm Layla sometime. I'll be Layla.
That'll work for me. For Jeremy, I'm Adam. We'll see you guys in 2 months.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast Podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.